use this if you want to smell like that tea.
You never had to question if you were a man, so why give your money to a corporation that doesn't know if their products are made for men? Try Jeremy Razor's hair and body products. Jeremy shampoo and conditioner are made with tea tree oil to naturally clean and restore your hair and scalp, argan oil to soften your hair and not your masculinity, and aloe vera to moisturize the hair and scalp. It's all paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and most importantly, 100% woke-free. Not to mention, it smells amazing. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Shawan Burns. We have a lot to discuss today. In particular, one person in particular, because she's been running amok, turning it up. I call her the turn up mayor. Some people on YouTube, they're calling her the city chick. I think the city girl mayor. She calls herself the super mayor, but she was the youngest mayor elected in Dolton County, Illinois, or Dolton, Illinois. And she holds two positions, mayor, and she's the township supervisor. And she's been running amok. And this latest news that I just discovered, she emailed Fox 32 Chicago saying that their attacks on her have been racist and misogynistic because they are reporting the news. She claims there's some type of bias against her, and they're not reporting the truth. They're not reporting the whole truth. They're being misogynistic and racist. So we're going to discuss that today. And we got some other stuff that we want to talk about regarding Tiffany Henyard, the mayor, illustrious mayor, the city girl mayor, she called herself the super mayor, the super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, of 20,000 people. So we're going to talk about it today.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
That's right. So let's see who we got online. Once again, if you enjoyed that music, you can go to scoresomemusic.com. My intro music, I'm speaking of. You could go to scoresomemusic.com. Once again, that address is www.scoresomemusic.com. Matt Torrance, one of my viewers, he made that music just for me, and he could do the same for you. So whatever things that you need, go to www.scoresomemusic.com. Let's get into it. Let's see who we have online today. Hi, Ruben Gonzalez. Good to see you again. Kite Fly, she is a Dolton resident here, open-minded and interested in the topics. In fairness, I have been pro Henyard because we're the same age and she's from here like me. Okay, Kite. We'll see. I'm pretty... I think I'm fair and balanced, but I hate to see some ghetto shit. So, and then, me being a black woman, she's making it hard for other black women to go in her path because we don't get a lot of leadership roles in the first place. But anywho, so we'll see. So Matt is in the building. Matt, this is the composer of my intro music, www.scoresomemusic.com. Matt put it in the chat, www.scoresomemusic.com. Okay, so this first video I want to show you, this was back in June, And only reason why I want to talk about this or show this particular video, because it's going to allude to the news article that I want to present to you guys. And in this news article, Tiffany Henyard, she emailed this to Fox 32 News saying, you guys are not being fair when you're posting stuff on the news. You got it all wrong. So this is, now remember last week we talked about the mayor firing someone. She fired what is it called? Not an assessor, but the person that sits on the board. Anyway, she fired the young lady, and she got some backlash for that because they were saying the only person that is able to fire this person is the person who hired her, and the mayor has no authority on firing this person. So I'm assuming this person is seeking a lawsuit against her, and I'm talking about the city and the mayor. And so in this particular video, we talked also about the city assessor, where she was locked out of her office, and she's denying the claim. She's saying that no, she was never locked out, and she's playing these mental gymnastic games when she's answering the question. And I'm saying I'm talking about Mayor Tiffany Henyard. She's playing mental gymnastics with another person on the board, okay, the township board. And he's trying to answer the questions and get clarity. And she's, instead of answering the question, she's asking the question with the question. And it is totally ridiculous. So this is their interaction. This is the lady right here. This is the assessor that she's talking about. And well, one of the ladies, another lady, she has, I don't know if she's there, but I don't know if she works for the mayor office or whatever, but it was two people, but this lady right here. And you notice how she addressed the news. Stop writing that Stop writing that BS about me, because you don't even know. But the news camera was there where she couldn't open her office. So video, I mean, unless it was an AI video, I mean, it was there. And then they showed the police officer coming in talking about, oh, you can't be here, after the assessor let them in the office to talk to them. Anyway, moving forward, let's continue.
Elaborate a little more about what is going on so people can understand what's happening. And news, stop writing about me and y'all ain't got y'all facts. Y'all wrote that I removed her from office, and I did no such thing. I did not lock her out of no office. I don't even have a dispute with that lady. So I wish people stop lying on my name. And I hope y'all write that. That's for your record when you do write this article about me, because you only come here for the mess. You guys do not come here for anything positive that has been done in this township, such as we got a whole surplus when there's always been a deficit here in the township. Y'all didn't write that, right? And then when y'all want to know the truth about the township, y'all come here bring my line about the theft that's going on at the township before I became the supervisor. But y'all not writing about none of that stuff. So stop. Keith, you got the floor.
Good evening, everyone. So to set this record straight, Supervisor Henyard in no way removed the assessor from her office. The supervisor has, the assessor has access to the assessor's office, which is located on this side of the building. She has a key fob that gets her in her office. Her office was relocated to an area so that we can take care of some business in her office area. She did not call and ask us why she was being relocated. She did not call and ask us.
So you know Keith is her like little henchman. Now this is what I get from it, from what all the videos that I've been seeing and the names that's came out and looking at these videos. Keith is the henchman, and she was definitely locked out of her office. You can't say you're going to move somebody's office and not tell them. And then they're playing games as far as the FOIA requests. So you can't say, oh, and holding on because she processed the FOIA records. You have access to your office, but then in another sentence you said, oh, we relocated her office, but she didn't ask us. She didn't ask us. Well, yeah, she didn't ask you to relocate her office. And why? Why does she have to come? Why did you relocate my office? You shouldn't have relocated it to finish up some business. What was the business that you had to finish up in her office? That is so mind-boggling to me. Anyway.
Any information about that. There were no files left out. All of the files were locked up. Whoever took the files out, left them on the tables for the media, and whatever that interview was, that's completely false. And I will go even further to say this. It has been brought to my attention, and I informed the supervisor, that there is an office that has been set up as the assessor's office in Calumet City. And I informed the supervisor and I informed our attorneys. That is why this motion is being placed on the agenda, and it is up to the board to decide whether or not the assessor or any other officer of Dolton Township or any other body of government can operate outside of its normal facilities and or buildings. That is all I have, Supervisor. If you have any questions or any other board member.
Yes, thank you. I'll go
I have
back
a
to
question.
up to the board. Go ahead.
So you didn't receive any emails or calls from the assessor?
I didn't receive anything from the assessor questioning whether or not.
Any call?
No,
Say the past 2 weeks.
No, I hadn't received. I haven't spoken to.
No call, no emails.
I have not spoken to the assessor at all.
Well, that's not what I'm asking. Did you receive any emails or
Okay,
calls?
he answered the question. We're not
No,
going
not
to
the
answer.
specific
We're not.
question. No,
You're
you're not.
done. Thank you.
No, I
Very welcome,
still have
Supervisor.
questions.
You can ask. Go
Okay,
ahead.
well,
But he
he's not gonna answer them then? Okay,
He
so.
answered it.
Did
You're
you
not gonna go
receive
back
any
and
calls
forth.
or emails?
I have not. I have
So,
not.
the assessor's office was moved from the previous office to a different office.
So are you admitting she has office? Because I just want to know what's this little pony show for. So you admitting she has office, right, Trustee?
I'm asking a
No,
question.
you asking the question.
Yes,
So
I'm asking a question.
And this is where she really goes off the rails for me. It's like you're not answering the question. Number one, you moved her office. You moved her office without notice. That's why she couldn't get into her original office. And that's why the problem exists. And then another thing the assessor noted in this video, not this particular video, but the video with the news camera, she was saying that they're holding papers that she's not able to process or do her work because they're holding the papers. So she can't process stuff if I think she mentioned the name Keith is sitting on his desk and he's not even supposed to have the information. He shouldn't even be getting a request because that's not even his job. But anyway, they're going back and forth.
was it moved to another office? Since you got all the answers, was it moved
I
to another
don't know,
office?
that's why I'm asking a question.
You should know. You're a trustee. So
Well,
you don't know.
exactly. But
You
there's
don't
no
know where the
communication.
office
There is no
is? She has an
communication.
office. That's my
In this
answer.
building.
She has an office.
But it's not the previous office.
She has an office.
But it's not the previous one.
I
that
just
she had.
answered. What's your next question, sir?
It's not the previous one. that
What's
she
your
had.
next question?
That's my question.
I just answered.
No, you didn't.
Anything else?
No, yes. It's not the previous office.
Okay,
Is that
I'm
correct or
done
not?
with it.
No, answer the questions.
I just
Yeah.
did.
No, you
Anything
didn't.
else? Point
You
of
did
order.
not.
Point of order.
You did
Any
not
other
answer
questions
the
from
question.
anybody else?
You're not answering the question.
Just did.
No, you didn't.
Any other
And we're-
questions?
So is this based on any sort of law saying that an assessor can't? I mean, the assessor, any assessor within the state will have, say, like, a program, a satellite outside of the building. I mean, so I mean, is there any sort of back state kind of law or that you have basing this on, or?
She cannot remove herself from this building.
She hasn't. The office
has.
itself is still operational.
I just explained it to you.
No, that's.
So here's our question. I thank you for answering that to the media. So the media, they said it was locked out, so they're still there. Thank you.
Well, the assessor was locked out.
The assessor was not locked out. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
So you know the answer. Which one?
Yeah,
No
I
one else
know.
answered
I
you.
know.
How do you know that if you just said you don't know? You ain't been in there. Which one is it, Trustee?
What you said?
You just said you haven't been in there, but now you're saying that you
I
know.
never said I haven't been in there.
You did.
No, I didn't. I did not say I haven't been in there.
Okay, but we're not gonna do the back and forth. I understand you need some
You can't answer
points for the
questions.
news. I just answered
There's-
all your
there's-
questions.
in order
For the
for
record,
there to
she
be back
has
and
not
forth,
been
there has
locked
to be an
out of her
answer to a
office.
question.
She needs to come back here to this building. This is her office here in the township at the 333 East 162nd Street. So that's what she needs to come and do her job that she got elected to do, period. Ain't no go back to Calumet City. She cannot do that. So this is why this on here.
Based on what?
I have a question. Is
No,
Calumet
no
City part of
Out
Dolton
of
Township?
order. Right now, this is discussion among the board. So
So I
now,
mean, is that based on some, is gonna be the attorney's opinion on it?
she cannot do it. Sure, attorney
What's the attorney's opinion?
that she has to ask the supervisor.
Sure, and thank you for your question. I've not done a complete comprehensive legal review of this matter, but the corporate authorities of the township are the only individuals that have the power to rent, lease, or own, or purchase real or personal property. And that's just by statute through the township code, paragraph C of section 85-10. And it's not for, any such action has to be done by the township board, whether to lease property, for instance, at an auxiliary or separate type of office or location. The other second issue is the importance of any records that are used or created or retained by the assessor are official Thornton Township records that need to be housed at an official Thornton facility, such as this office. So those are the two main reasons why the assessor would be limited as far as the need to operate out of township facilities, which is this location.
But in this instance, is that the official case that there is space being leased?
Well, that's just my understanding. But regardless, again, there's the location is at the township and not at some other auxiliary location where authority doesn't exist. And that's just the extent of the facts that I currently have.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Legally, she cannot operate out of the township.
Yeah, based on my prior statement, that's correct.
And so based on this motion, I mean, so it's kind of asking two things though. I mean, are you asking to declare it absent or requesting that she back?
She has not been here, so we're telling her this is her office. She did not set up another office, which is made all these statements. So that's what the motion is for. So you're going back and forth, but you gotta vote no, so. Are we going back and forth? She has not been in her office. She's supposed to be here at this location, where she has office and access to.
Where is that office?
Right behind us. Right behind us, I knew her office is where it always has been, it's right here. But she will know that.
No,
if she
where in the
comes.
building? It's the same,
You know where it
it's the
is.
same office?
You know where it is. Look, I'm not going back and forth. Anything else? Anything else? All right,
So
all right,
it's the
thank
same
you.
office
It's a
then?
motion and a second on the floor, in the discussion. Motion second on the floor, please call the roll. Thank you.
So she, like I said, she didn't really answer the questions. And she's always been combative because she knows that she's in the wrong, period, point blank. I don't care what nobody says. This lady is in the wrong. And it's so surprising to me that a lot of these people are elected. Why are you so scared of this lady? You all were elected. You all are elected officials. So why are you scared to speak up? Anyway. And then you have your little henchman that people don't, so supportive of her, and she's spending your taxpayer dollars like she's some type of mob boss or some crap. Anyway, so it leads me to my next subject. It says Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard threatened Fox 32. Published that letter. They published this letter. It says, after the scathing and truthful reports on Thornton Township Supervisor and Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard last week, Henyard sent a letter which threatened to make certain information public in reference to the Fox 32 reporter. Her threats apparently carried no water outside Thornton Township and the village of Dolton. In the letter, she complains about custody battle she is going through with her daughter, and then accuses, I don't know what one has to do with the other. I really don't know. But then she accuses of Fox 32 of conflict of interest. This one made us laugh. On Henyard, it's a walking conflict of interest as a public official. A continuous racial and misogynistic targeted coverage of Henyard, Dolton, and Thornton Township. No, I don't think it's racist, and I don't think it's misogynistic. I think you're making a bad name for yourself. Whoever squeaks the loudest get the most attention. You're squeaking the loudest, so they're gonna give you the most attention. And the loud noise that you're doing, it's irritating. So people want to know what are you talking about? You're saying, bitch, don't have my money during the meetings. Rihanna, you dressing up like Nino Brown and carrying a fake dog with you. So of course that brings attention. And then you're charging residents. This was not too long ago for parking tickets, $500 for parking tickets. And you expect people to be like all in your corner. Anyone that combats you or that don't support you, you find a way to screw them over. You use city services to harass people. So the public has every right to know who they voted for, what kind of person they voted for. You had the audacity to hire a violent sex offender and gave him the authority to go inside people's homes. So yeah, and the news is there to report. So any of the things that you're saying racist and misogynistic, I'm Black, I guess I'm being racist. There's a lady that's, I think her name is Pink something things or Pink something. I forget her YouTube channel. I'll bring it up. But she has several videos about her. Tiffany Henyard. And she's a way bigger channel than I am. And she's a Black woman. So you just being like, it's other Black people are reporting on you, white and Black. So what are we saying here? Because you're a Black woman, you get to act an ass and act a fool and spend people money illegally, spend the township money illegally. Engaging in malicious smear campaign against me. She's so narcissistic. All the characteristic, there's a smear campaign. Like you're smearing yourself. She's earned this coverage by her own actions. Yeah, well, that's what I just said that. Print, cover, and producing false and defamatory accusations towards her and members of her staff in blatantly erroneous manner. No. Subjecting Fox 32 and other media sources to liability. Violating ethics standards of Fox 32. This one made us laugh. Henyard talking about ethics because she has none. You can't tell people have a code of ethics and you don't use them. And kite fly. No, the lady was fired. That trustee member was fired. They showed it on the news. Go to your Dolton Trustee YouTube channel. They have the police walking her out saying she was terminated. she did not quit. So she's harassing people. She's going around harassing people. Now, let's read this letter right quick. This is the letter that she wrote. Consider this communication a formal request to the leadership and staff of Fox 32 News Chicago to address its conflict of interest and continuous racial and misogynistic target coverage of myself, the village of Dolton, Thornton Township, and all agency I represent as a public official. It is no coincidence that Fox 32 investigative journalist Tia Ewing Walker, wife of Early Walker, has used her influence as a journalist to convince staff members at your network to engage in malicious smear campaign against me and my staff to discredit the positive work we do here in the South Suburbs as a means to assist her husband as we engage in a custody dispute over our child, Miss Ewing stepdaughter. Why she put all that information in there? By allowing Miss Ewing and other journalists like Dane Placco to print, cover, and produce knowingly false and defamatory accusation towards myself and countless members of my staff is blatantly erroneous manner. You are subjecting Fox 32, its networks, and other media sources to liability. This behavior also violates the ethical standard of Fox 32 has been known to uphold. And she, you can't say what ethical standards unless you got their book. You got the HR manual or something. What are you talking about, ethical standards? Or are you talking about just like ethical standards, FCC rules? Or what are we saying here? So she just putting stuff out there. Furthermore, if you continue to purposely produce biased and non-factual content about me, why is this biased and non-factual? She probably don't know that they have a Trustee YouTube channel, a Dolton Trustee YouTube channel. They produce stuff. Some of the views on that on their things are, and they only got 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers. Some of the views they get on their YouTube channel is ridiculous. So what is she saying? Fox 32 is not the only thing that's printing stuff about her. We're actually seeing meetings being uploaded on the internet about you and how crazy you're acting. So this is not false or made up information. This is actual information because people are seeing it. I will, furthermore, if you continue to purposely produce biased and non-factual content about me, I will use whatever resources at my disposal to ensure that the public is aware of this conflict of interest and Fox 32 failure to address it. So they're saying, okay, we're making it public. That's what you can make it public, but we're going to beat you to the punch. We made this public on June 5th. So whatever she put on there, they published many articles after this was received. Given Miss Ewing and Mr. Placco's interest in our community, I thought I should mention that the Thornton Township was just awarded the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada Certificate of Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting. So now you're probably lying. When? For prior years? Because you didn't do it this year. Because as I'm going to show you one video where one of the guys was saying, hey, we can't pay it if you don't produce receipts. And she like, why I got to explain? I don't see why I got to explain why I got, whatever I spend, why I got to explain it. Why I got to produce receipts. And like I said prior in other videos, if you kite or hey, if you know her personally, you need to tell her, look up Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. He had that same sentiment. He didn't want to answer questions to the public and the council members and the board. And you know what happened to him? He got 28 years. And he was about 38 years old. He got 28 years. And you know why he's out now? It's because Donald Trump. That's the only reason why Kwame Kilpatrick is walking 3, but they threw the book at his ass because he didn't want to answer questions. Because he was spending money and taking money from the people, and he didn't want to answer questions. So somebody needs to tell her that. You got to answer questions. You're a public servant. So she's saying that I believe this and other relevant information was left out. None of these topics would help me. Miss Ewing's husband is in a legal dispute with me, so they remain uncovered by your station. I don't know. So I think Tia Ewing Walker, she's the one who works. And I know the other guy, her baby daddy or ex-husband maybe. He probably like, woo, dodge that bill. That woman is a mess. So anyway, so they're on this ongoing dispute. And topics will help Miss Ewing's husband in a legal dispute with me. So they remain uncovered by your station. Whatever. Should Fox 32 or its affiliate like to discuss how they could work with my office to cover the many positive programs? No, that's not how news work. News work, they report good and bad. People like bad though. People like hearing the bad. Yeah, they got your special, your Chitlin special. Yeah, they saw you was hosting the car wash and Chitlin special, the techno fun, but you did bad stuff all in cahoots to do the good stuff. Like your march to Springfield. You stole $10,000 from the township. So they covered that. Now, if you just marched to Springfield and didn't steal the $10,000, they wouldn't have to cover that. But you firing people, shutting people out that you have no authority to do, blocking the roads so people can't have events because you had the same event on your event. So yeah, they're going to cover that. So you're shining the light on your bad deeds. Instead of just saying, hey, people have the right to have an event the same day I have an event. Or instead of asking the person that was hosting the event, do you mind if I set up a booth, or do you mind if I bring techno to you? And they probably would have said no, because car show and techno don't really go together. But anyway, you're doing it to yourself. Anyway, so they report the good and the bad. Let me know if I'm wrong. Should Fox 32 Chicago or its affiliate like to discuss how we could work with my office to cover the many positive programs, services, developments, initiatives, and community events that both the Village of Dolton and Dolton Township are proud to promote? Feel free to reach out to Keith Freeman. And I will, I look forward to your response in resolving this conflict and how we could work together to focus on the issue of our residents consider a priority. If your response does not adequately resolve this issue in a timely manner, I plan to releasing the contents of this letter to the public. And they already released it, Tiffany. They already released it. Tomorrow, I'm going to look up journalist Tia Ewing Walker. I think I found her, and Early Walker. Okay, so she's so convinced that she had her Tia Walker is imprinted in her brain to say, oh, go, Tiffany Dalton is a mess, go report about her. Or Tiffany Henyard is a mess, report about her. No, You're stirring up the mess. They don't need any help from the staff. They got their own story to work on, and the story is about you. This next video is about them showing the receipts, and she like, I don't want to show the receipts. Let me get to some of your comments. Hold on for a second before that plays. The police in Dolton playing games too. This is big from Big Low. The Cook County Sheriff Office will take over policing in Dolton soon as Chicago Heights. What happened to their township? I found another video I was reading somewhere. Dolton is behind on paying Chicago. They was like $9 million in deficit of city water. And I guess, you know how they clean up the water or whatever. So the city water. So they were $9 million in deficit. They went to court and I guess they settled it. Right now they paid like $500,000 so far. But yeah, it's probably one of those townships. If the city is not able to handle their city things, municipalities, it's usually consumed by other townships. But it sounds like Thornton Township was pretty operating in the black prior to Tiffany taking it over. Matter of fact, she spent over $4 million since she's been the supervisor. And they were $2 million in the black. Now they're $2 million in the red. So this video right here, like I said, this is on Dolton's Trustee website. She's complaining, Tiffany Henyard is complaining about bad news portrayed against her on Fox 32. But this is on the internet. Dolton trustees, whoever's making these videos, they don't like her either. They don't like her. And people are saying she needs to go. They tried to overturn her vote, well, at least the mayorship, but the court sided with her. Anyway.
Meeting. Well, the 4 who were mentally present at least. Unfortunately, there were 2 who didn't quite understand what was happening. Stan Brown showed off his reading skills by wasting our time for 15 minutes while he read the Township newsletter front to back for reasons unknown. Maybe he wanted us to know he does more than just riding a bike. Andrew Holmes managed to go on 2 rants relating to roofs and windows for seniors. He actually blamed the other trustees for the reason the seniors will have strokes and heart attacks because the windows and roofs are letting heat out. Seriously, this happened. Let's watch.
We move forward with paying these vendors. You know, winter is coming. Seniors need their windows, they need their roofs. You know, how would you feel in a cold house? How many calls are the fire department of Dolton going to get called to a residence because someone's having a stroke, someone having a heart attack because the blood pressure is going up because they're cold? How many children's got to lay in the bedroom and be cold? Roofs leaking. We need to pay that vendor. First and foremost, we need to think about the health of our seniors and the people in the village. Some people working, some people doing fine. They got good heat. Others, they don't have heat because the windows are not there and the roofs are not there and the heat is going straight up out the house.
Thankfully, Trustee Jason House was paying attention and let Trustee Holmes know his comments were completely irrelevant and had
It had nothing to do with what. Okay, so what are we saying here? The windows in people's houses. I mean, I don't know what is he talking about. Irrelevant about providing receipts. It's totally irrelevant about the budget. I'm not on the trustee, and I know that. My home has nothing to do with my township budget unless I'm not paying my taxes.
Nothing to do with the warrant list that was being voted on.
Okay, there's on this list specifically, there is nothing to do with windows or roofs or nobody being removed. That has absolutely nothing to do with this.
Trustee House then went on to explain the items he was questioning, which were special to say the least.
Some of the items that we are talking about: Aurelio's Pizza, $131. Best Western, apparently 2 rooms for $318. Chicago Midway Airport, $200 worth of tax dollars spent on that. Cooper's Hawk, $557.68. Got Dollar Tree on here, $108. Dunkin' Donuts, $49.58. What else we got? Where else did we eat at? Holiday Inn in Bloomington, 2, 4, 6, 7 rooms, $2,694. Image One, Italian Fiesta, $113.59. Jewel Osco, $100.50. Olive Garden, $262.78. Pete's Fresh Market, $212.97. Let's see if we ate anywhere else. Thank me later, $520. Walmart, $11.11. Good Lord. Wyndham Hotel and Resorts, 2, 4, 6, 8 rooms, totaled up to $1,085. All this, no receipts given to the myself or the other trustees that have mentioned. Again,
That's not
it has
true.
nothing to do with denying a resident some service. We need receipts to understand what's going on. I conclude.
All right. So I'm gonna conclude with this. That's not true on your statement you just made. And when people read stuff into record, you guys go get clarity of what it is. Just for the record, y'all do know that we have prisoners that we feed, right? But I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down as though y'all just think it's the administration. It is not. Y'all do know we help homeless people. Y'all do know we help residents, right? But y'all don't ask them questions. Y'all do know we rent hotels for people. We got all these things, but why do I have to always try to justify what it is we're doing here? Why?
Why are we doing that? Why the hell are you giving prisoners Olive Garden? They in jail. They should be getting that canned meat or whatever. They in jail. They did a crime. They in jail. Okay? If you want to do some charity work, it has nothing to do with the city. Put it all under your 501c3, have a fundraiser, and use that money towards it. This is not a charity. It's the city. And yes, you do have to explain. You do have to provide receipts. You think you're the queen. You're not. You're not the queen for today.
Because people that don't do none, you never see, never active, get up here.
And then you love to down people. This is another problem I don't like about Tiffany Henyard. You love to down people. You talking about, oh, you never see them doing nothing, and you have them. He is doing his job. He need the damn receipts so he could pay the bills. That's his job. To question you. So you won't spend money frivolously. That's why they have a trust. That's why they're called trustees. So you won't be randomly spending shit. And you actually literally supposed to go to them. Oh, what's in the budget? How much do we have on the budget allocated for this? How much should we allocate for this month or this quarter or this year? Usually you do that prior to you start spending money. And she's been, like I said, this woman has all the capabilities of being a good mayor because she's been on the board for 8 years. She is very capable, but she refuses to be a great mayor because she wants to be the turn up queen or Nino Brown, Miss Nino Brown. She refuses. And the people of Dolton elected her.
and just say things out, but never give you no clarity of what department it is. Each item that's on our thing, it has a code. It tells you which department spent the money. It tells you that. Again, I keep telling you the day-to-day operation. Yes, I'm the overseer of the village, but the management handles their own department, spends their own money, and they put it on a warrant list and give it to the board. But yet people got to do a spin of what they think it is, but don't ask no legitimate questions, because I've asked the same questions on sometimes when I read it. And when I read it, I get clarity. And I say, oh, okay, y'all went and y'all bought the inmates McDonald's or a pizza or whatever they bought. I'm just getting that as an example because I had to learn too. So they should learn before they make judgment or just put things out there and don't have no facts. That's what I mean by not having facts.
All right. Then we will ask the residents, like the mayor said, who are the homeless Dolton residents that the super duper mayor has helped by taking them down to Bloomington, Illinois, and got them a hotel room. Actually, 8 hotel rooms, along with multiple expensive fancy meals. We're also curious to know which inmate she fed at Cooper's Hawk.
Yeah,
As far as
I
we
wanna
know, and we do know as a fact, prisoner meals consist of McDonald's. That's all, nothing more. Not only did the super duper narcissistic mayor lie to the residents by making herself appear as charitable and generous by helping the homeless, but she threw her department heads under a very large, very criminal looking bus. We want to caution her employees to think twice about the loyalty offered to her. She just showed the world she has no shame in blaming you for her wrongdoing. She will use tax dollars to pay her Dolton police security detail on overtime who drive the very expensive township vehicles to run you over and over again. We're sure it's just a coincidence these downstate expenditures for fancy meals and hotels happened at the exact same time that your own charitable foundation happened to be doing a 5-day walk to Springfield. You make it so easy for the feds to do their job. You steal in plain sight. Mayor, we thank you. Your true colors really did shine bright at the last board meeting. We don't even have to try to make you look bad. You do it all to yourself. TikTok.
Imagine hosting.
So, you know, like I said, this is on the Dolton Trustee YouTube channel. So the Dolton Trustee don't trust her. They do not like her. They do not like Henyard, okay? Hey, new fan here. I can't believe this lady is actual mayor and still hold office. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Light them up. 818. Dolton does need experienced, caring person to help this township. Yeah. I think all cities need experience, or even if you lack the experience, you should be compassionate, business minded as well, and more business minded than compassionate, because you don't, just because you're a Mother Teresa, that doesn't mean you could lead a city, you know. Anyway, this next video, and you know, I'm gonna get on Tiffany. Tiffany using township money to fund her campaign. Now, you know, she's campaigning. She's up for re-election next year. Okay. And they're saying that she used township money to fund her campaign. It says Thornton Township's supervisor Henry responded to our questions with this statement, claiming it was a mistake and was never paid. There is no indication that the 11-4 fundraiser was the DJ performed at, and we know her campaign fund does not indicate any payments for the time frame to the DJ. Okay. It says, thank you for your recent article. As you can imagine, I was not aware of this issue before you reached out and was concerned, given my clear direction in our operating policies that assure taxpayer dollars are not used for political purposes. I only wish you had given me a bit more time between your initial contact and publishing your story to ensure your readers had all the facts. As pointed out in your article, there was an item on the invoice where the DJ experienced that included a line item stating 11-4 fundraiser. Upon learning of this line item, I immediately requested that the township attorney investigated why this line item was on the Thornton Township invoice, how it may have gotten there, and asked that they ensure no taxpayer dollars were used for political event. During their inquiry, it was learned that the DJ Experience made a mistake and accidentally included on the township invoice work that he was performing in a private capacity for another party. Really? Okay, the DJ Experience confirmed in writing that they did not charge the township for any work on, for, or at the 11-4 fundraiser. The services for the fundraisers were paid by DJ Experience customer prior to November the 15th, 2023, invoice being sent to the township. As a result, the inquiry of the township is evaluating and revising its accounts payable procedures to ensure that the township's funds are spent in accordance with the law and that the invoice presented for payments are accurate. I do appreciate you bringing this to our attention so that we could look into further and ensure no taxpayer dollars were used for political activities. My team and I will continue to work to ensure accuracy and accountability. Okay. So in the original article, it says, it's talking about the event on November the 4th, and the cost to attend was $150, $20,000 for sponsorship. You got 20,000 people in your, well, I don't know what's in the township. You guys put it in chat. How many people is in the township? Pretty sure it's more than 20,000 people. Incidentally, there are no reports filed with the state board elections reflecting any donations for this fundraisers. We checked the website prior to the publication. During the course of the fundraiser, Henry presented or caused to be presented an invoice on Thornton Township trustees for payment of the DJ in amount of $5,500. What kind of DJ you get? They charge $5,500. And we talking about a small time. I ain't never heard no DJ costing $5,500 unless they like one of those famous DJs. Somebody throw me a lifeline, $5,500. That's a little bit on the ridiculous side. There's no indication of the dollar amount per event, simply a total. Incidentally, this invoice was dated 6 weeks prior to some services being performed. 2 of the services dates was November the 4th, were listed on the township events and fundraisers or fundraiser. In our opinion, that each and every Thornton Township taxpayers and each elected officials on every public body within Thornton Township should be contacting their police sheriff department to file complaints of alleged illegal use of township public funds for this political fundraiser. Anything short of this to Henyard's corrupt activities, acquiescence to Henyard's corrupt activities. The use of public funds for political campaign-related services violate the Illinois Constitution and other Illinois laws needs to be prosecuted. Okay, and then the township board needs to be extra diligent to ensure that they are not paying these invoices for non-public and non-township purposes just because they vote to approve payment does not make the invoice legitimate. That is true. That is true because you know what? Just because you approve a payment, that don't mean it's true or legal. And also, we know some of the people on the board or trustees that Tiffany has are, under her thumb. So I don't think they're acting fair and legal. So Tiffany, she's spending money, and she responded back to a letter saying, or I guess article, because it was published, saying it was oversight. She said she wished she had more time to respond. Now, this is really wild, you guys. This last video I'm going to share with you guys before I get off. And it's a very short video, but this was dated. Is the 19th today, or that was yesterday? No, today. This was dated today. Bullets riddled cars of a vocal opponent of Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Now, this happened back in July, but they're just publishing it. At approximately 6:30 a.m. on Friday morning, July the 14th, former Dolton Village Trustee Valeria Stubbs was the unfortunate recipient of at least 9 rounds fired into her vehicle. Nine rounds in the small village of Dolton, Illinois. Stubbs was vocal opponent of Mayor Tiffany Henyard while she was a trustee for the village, and continues to vocally oppose her apparent lawless actions. So they have a video below. After at least 9 rounds were fired, you could see 2 individuals running from the alley and get into a white vehicle, which speeds off in the direction of the camera after they got into it. This cannot be permitted to continue. And this is her car. This is the car. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this. And I think this is the video. That's the car right here. So in the small town of Dolton, let's replay that video. It looked like a Mercury. What kind of car is that? It looked like a Nissan. Or maybe a Ford. Anyway, you think somebody will be able to identify that if they do police work, and you only got 20,000 residents? How many people living in the township of Dolton? Or what is it? The village, or whatever that township that she's over? Thornton Township. So they got 165,000 people in Dolton Township. Well, they're saying it's 157. In Thornton. But this lady, was she in Dolton Township or Dolton Village? They didn't say where she's located at, but I mean, you can narrow it down. White vehicles look like a 2003 or something like that, maybe 2005. You can narrow it down to what type of vehicle it is. Somebody that knows cars in the police department, they could pinpoint that type of car. Like, oh yeah, that's such and such type of car. You know, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of men out there that could, not even on the police force, they could figure out what type of car this is. I'm pretty sure. And so we can't say it's Tiffany Henyard, but who would target who would target your political, not even political opponent, just a person that don't like you? Who would target somebody? To me, it's a little bit on the ridiculous side. You guys let me know. Put it in the chat. They added up Harvey and Riverdale, Calumet City too. Yeah. Yeah. The woman who was killed had a child in her car. Well, I don't think this lady was killed. I heard that too. Somebody was just killed. I think it was yesterday in Dolton, which is crazy. Nicole said allegedly. Allegedly, we can't blame that on Tiffany, but allegedly we could say she's doing this crazy stuff. South suburbs still equals wild hundreds. Greg says they really need to stop. They spend on all types of stuff, including women for sex parties, but they want to beat this drum against the sister, all cap. Yeah. Like I said, and we don't know, like even the hotel rooms, like where are you going? Like how many times are you traveling out of town? Now that's that convention that she just traveled from, that last video I posted up. Her and her people went to Vegas, but it was like some type of convention, probably trying to bring other businesses to this Dolton Township or Thornton Township. So I could see that maybe being legal per se, but when does it stop? And anybody talk bad against you, you got a problem with it. Right now, you're just being a tyrant. You're using police officials to lock people up. And I said, and you know what? I said this was my last story, but no, I have one more, because this, to me, this is really, this needs to be put out there. She's abusing her power. On this one, it says claims of political targeting spark drama in Dolton. And it's a town in turmoil. Village board meetings erupt into chaos. Allegations of misspending and harassment, and lawsuits accuse officials of targeting political opponents. It's becoming a regular occurrence in South suburban Dolton. It seems no one agrees on who to blame, though many could see it's the residents and business owners who are suffering. Yeah. They're the ones who suffering. No one's saying that hey, we maybe we should just stop this and think of our residents, because we are running for election next year, because we all could get voted out. Nobody's saying that. Everybody's beating their chests and saying you disrespecting me and blah blah blah.
To target her political opponents.
Investigative reporter Ben Bradley has the story.
For decades, the Shaw brothers ran politics in and around South suburban Dolton. Their antics were legendary, but now there's a new leader in town. She calls herself the people's super mayor, but that's not how some of the people would characterize her leadership.
Show me 23.
The night of June 10th, police arrived at this truck yard in Dolton, owned by Lawrence Gardner.
How are you?
I don't know. I was doing good till you got here.
The reason police responded depends on who you ask. In this report, officers said it was for an ordinance violation for hosting a group of bikers at his business without a license. But Gardner has a different take.
Okay. It's what it is.
Well, so here we go.
He says he's been repeatedly harassed for not supporting Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
We taking care of all the business, right? All the business.
You can't stop me from closing my gate.
Last time I'm gonna say it, sir.
Okay.
Please stop.
I'm not.
Okay.
The standoff that night ended with Gardner in handcuffs.
I'm tired of them. They've been harassing me for months and months and months.
Have a seatbelt, sir.
And charged with misdemeanor obstructing an officer.
How does that matter to you?
With the gate. It's all on body cam, no big deal.
The charge eventually dropped. Case closed, right? Not quite. Gardner claims the harassment continues.
I'm suffering. They destroyed my trucking company. They shut my store down.
And he's not alone. Others in town are sharing similar stories of alleged retaliation for not supporting this suburban mayor.
It's a regular occurrence. She uses the police force to intimidate residents.
The Dolton Park District's director said in her case, the mayor objected to a car show on park property and shut down the event.
It felt like an abuse of power. She used her entire police force to come in and prevent something from happening because things didn't go her way, really.
Some businesses, even village employees, are now suing Dolton.
I filed the lawsuit because I am a victim of retaliation.
Eris Montgomery is Dolton's deputy village clerk. In her complaint, filed last May in federal court, she claims the board increased her pay to $60,000, but the mayor ordered not to implement the raise because the clerk didn't support Henyard politically.
Can you imagine? You get a job and you doing good at the job. Everybody's like, oh, you should get a raise. And this lady come along like, oh, she don't support me, so we're not going to implement the raise. Man, that's sad. And this is a black woman doing it to another black woman. What happened to the sister love? What happened to the sister love? What are you saying? Misogynistic and racism. You're being racist and misogynistic to your own people. That's ridiculous. That is crazy. I tell you, when black women, every horror story that I see, I work for myself, so I haven't experienced it in a long, long time. But everyone that I know, that when they talk about office drama, and it would be like some really crazy stuff, it's always involving another black woman that's like the supervisor or a woman, period. Men tend, sometimes you get stuff with men, but it's usually women doing it to other women, which is really sad. What happened to the feminist movement? What happened to sisterly love? Where is it all at? I guess it all goes away because you're not my political supporter.
People are walking on eggshells, so to speak. They're afraid to have an opinion about anything or to fulfill their duties.
Since taking office in 2021, Henyard has repeatedly clashed with residents and fellow elected officials, even locking trustees out of Village Hall amid a dispute.
This is the second time she did this.
That was 2021. 2 years later, dysfunction is still the definition of a Dolton Village board meeting.
You the ones that's costing the village money. I don't have that call. All right. Okay.
What was she supposed to do? You wanted her to expound? Don't drag out the meeting.
I made a motion.
It took 30 minutes of yelling just to agree on the order of the night's agenda. Some residents say they are fed up.
Until this administration starts respecting us as citizens, I'll be damned if I'm going to respect them as an administration.
3.5 hours later, we had a quick chance to chat with the mayor.
At what point is this dysfunction a reflection on your leadership?
When I replace my board.
Are you punishing your political opponents?
No, not at all. I'm a fear God person, God-fearing person, that I don't touch stuff like that.
I'm a fear of God. That she meant that. She fears. She wants other people to fear her of God. She's not God-fearing. She's really not. She's a tyrant.
I want people to know that I'm caring. I love what I do.
No, you don't.
I stay in the fire for them, and I bring products and produce things here in our community for them.
Her team said the mayor would not discuss any lawsuits or specific allegations of political targeting.
From my perspective, they're sort of kicking these cans down the road and not doing much to defend them.
Well, there you are.
Attorney Patrick Walsh represents Dolton's deputy clerk and another village employee, both of whom are suing the suburb, alleging they were victims of political retaliation.
We've had cases in other municipalities. It certainly happens, but not on this scale. They don't even take steps to try to hide it.
Gardner says he's also considering a lawsuit alleging the village illegally shut down his candy store.
I lost it all.
And his trucking business.
There's no freight. I just have a couple of friends that don't have anywhere to put their belongings, so I put the stuff in here to collect a couple of dollars to pay the rent.
Back in June, after Dolton had shut him down, Gardner's security cameras captured two people he insists were Mayor Henyard's henchmen.
Here it is. Here's the lock they cut.
The night of his arrest, Gardner asked if cops were the ones who cut his lock.
You know you shouldn't have cut that lock off and went in my property. You shouldn't have done that.
Again, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna let it go. Nobody cut a lock off your property.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
But Gardner's not giving up or giving in.
And then when I call and try to find out, it's always, you have to talk to the mayor. You got to talk to the mayor. Well, the mayor never answered the phone. Nobody else can say anything.
Our story isn't over. One of the many things trustees and the mayor can't agree on is how tax dollars are being spent. Digging through the records, we found trips to Las Vegas, thousands spent on meals and more. Those details Wednesday on the WGN News at 9. Back to you.
Well, so you know, she is a tyrant. And I feel sorry for the guy because it looks like he's well-to-do. Why would you want to shut a business down? Don't you get taxes from his business operating in your city or county or township? But you rather shut him down. And like I said, what happened to all the black love? What happened to it? Where's the black love and black power? Where is it at? Black power and we need to stick with each other and all that stuff. I guess that's out the door if you don't agree with me, right? To me, it's really ridiculous. And we could say allegedly. She's allegedly doing this. Sherry said the township main focus is general assistance, not travel all over the country. Yeah, correct. Kite says there's gangs here in Dolton. I guess, like you said, it's part of the Wild 100s, but I don't see. Yeah, you guys don't see I don't know. Do they have any gangs anymore? They just running around like, I don't think it's no structures to the gangs now. I think they're just criminals, running around doing whatever. Anyway, Bonita Nottingham. That's what happens when you vote for a color. That's what happened when I'm gonna vote for this sister. She do you wrong. Greg Phillips said he needs to sue. Hell yeah. I would have been sued her. I would have sued her. A matter of fact, they probably got this class action lawsuit that they could file against her, depending on how many people she's been doing this to. Byron, we need to do better, a whole lot better. True. Okay, so that was it. That was it for our business talks. You guys stay tuned tomorrow. I do have another story about Tiffany Henyard, and then we're gonna go to Michigan. This one lady, she was ousted this past election, this past November in East Point. But she a black mayor, another black mayor. Sad story. Very sad, and she was young too. Sad story that I got to talk about her. And it's unfortunate that we do have some people that's doing right, by people. But then when we have people that's doing wrong by people, they like really do wrong. I mean, it's kind of unavoidable for us not to talk about it because it's so like in your face and frivolous. And it's very shameful. So we're going to talk about the East Point mayor in Michigan tomorrow. So you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I really appreciate every single one of you. Let me make sure that to follow me on this other channel. Follow me on this other channel. It's nothing but political stuff on here. But I stream from this channel, and also I post shorts on this channel. So I really appreciate every single one of you. Like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you tomorrow.